What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, another town hall in the books. This is the one for March 14th, 2024, and I got my 5 biggest takeaways for you. So this is just a reminder for anybody who's either new to the channel or is new to this series, but every time there's a town hall, I usually just cover the 5 biggest things that are sticking out to me. This is not a full summary. There's usually other fantastic video and content creators, video and written content creators that put together full summaries or live streams where they go through everything in detail. But for me, I just like to cover the 5 things that stuck out the most. And I actually have, this may actually be a little bit long. This is the first time I ever thought about splitting this up into 2 videos. So I'm going to try my best to just rip through all this stuff because there's just a lot that was covered in this town hall. And keep in mind, there will not be a town hall. It sounds like on the 28th. It sounds like Matt is out of pocket, but they did give an update on what we can expect in the maintenance windows over the next, I guess really over the next month. So this is going to get us through Q1, which is kind of crazy. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. Okay, so first thing, we have a bunch of updates. Now, there were a couple of updates that were put in this previous, was it March 12th? So previous maintenance window. Those were, and I didn't catch all of them, but the ones that I thought were important were the brawl changes. So now, based on the past governance proposal vote that we had, if you do not fill a fray, it counts as a loss, or at least a win for the other, the other people or the other brawlers in the fray, whatever it is, right? So that we've already seen little parts of that pop up, but I think this is going to be more important as things go along. And then champion match liquidity. This is an interesting thing too. So if you are in champion, it doesn't matter how far apart you are in rating, you have the ability to be able to be matched up with anybody in champion. It can go beyond that 1,000 threshold that they have, right? So if you're below champion, they usually try to keep everybody within the 1,000 threshold. But if you are in champion, I guess what they're trying to say is like, everybody at that level is, elite, top tier. So you should be able to play anybody in champion. And hopefully that's going to help with a lot of the match liquidity issues that are currently happening in champion. Now, for the updates that are coming in on the 19th, they're going to put in the new conflict card. That is the Venka the Vile, which I did a video on separately, so you can go check that out. There's a new ability coming with that card, which is Charge, which is almost like a melee mayhem from anywhere. And it's going to be, in my opinion, one of the big Grim Bardoon Smith killers, or at least balancers of the meta. So they're going to be putting that in so that it can roll over as soon as the next conflict begin, or the current conflict ends and the next one begins. They're also adding a new rule set, which I believe is going to be neutrals only. That's what it looked like. Again, they just gave a little bit of a teaser in terms of the icon. It looked like the neutral icon, so that'd be kind of interesting. We have a lot of no neutrals, and so you have options with all the different elements that you can play. But it'd be kind of interesting to just do neutrals only with your favorite summoner. And they've actually been pretty good about this. Investigators said they're trying to release 1 new rule set per month, which is fantastic. It just keeps things nice and fresh. And I really, really appreciate the team trying to do that. This Q1, and I'm going to make a separate video on this at a later point, but this Q1 really reminds me of Q1 last year when we just had a bunch of things hitting every week. The team was just delivering small little quality of life stuff, and it just built up to, Land 1.0 releasing, which was awesome, right? Obviously, after that, we waited way too long for Land 1.5 and all the other things that happened in 2023, but I'm not trying to rehash that. I'm just saying Q1 so far has felt really, really good, despite all of the craziness. And obviously, it's kind of good. It's kind of actually very good that Bitcoin has been helping with the entire market going up. The other thing that they're going to do is voucher and DEC burn tracking for energy. So this is going to be kind of cool because I don't know if they have something set up like this, but maybe they're going to have a specific account that the vouchers and DEC that are burned for energy go to. So it'll be easier for us to track. Again, I just think that's going to be something interesting and adds to a lot of the different data points where we can just, nerds like me within this space can really dive in and see what the trends are like. So that is what's coming up in 4 days, or at least whenever you listen to this, for the March 19th update. But we also have the April 2nd update, which is going to be pretty big. And that's when the new reward system is going to go live. So they're going to extend the season that is about to begin, or we'll just call it the season for the second half of March. They're going to extend that all the way to April 2nd, the morning of April 2nd, and put in the new rewards system for that following season. Now, instead of calling them RP or reward points, they're going to call them glints, which is interesting to me. I don't know why they chose that, because I already got used to glints from Parallel. Parallel has glints as kind of like their soul, not soulbound token, but like their credits, right? So I know there's only that many words in the English language, but I looked at that and I was just like, oh, it feels like a little bit of a ripoff of Parallel, because Parallel had that thing first, Parallel TCG for anybody interested. But it is what it is. I guess we're going to be talking about glints here now too. And so what will be available in the first set of reward shop items, it's going to be chests for reward cards. You can get potions, you can get energy, you can get merits, and they will have some limited edition titles. So that's going to be really cool, because I do believe many people are going to be racing to get those as quickly as they possibly can, since those are the only things that have actual dollar value. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, they're planning on removing the daily focus. They want to overhaul the entire thing, but until they overhaul it, they're just going to remove it. And I got to say, I think it was Nate who was kind of behind this, or at least Investigator was saying it was Nate who's behind this. I fully agree. I play so many games and so many days that I don't even know like so many matches in which I don't even know what my daily focus is. And then all of a sudden I'll get like a huge SPS payout on a win. I'll be like, oh wait, what, like, how did I get such a high payout? Oh, I used focus cards. What's my focus? And then I go check, right? But most of the time I have no idea. I'm just trying to play the best team possible. And I like the fact that they're recognizing that and trying to redo how that will work. So obviously there's going to be some interesting elements that play out with, your guild lodge quests or quest lodge and all that, but the team is fully aware of it. They said they've had meetings on it, and hopefully by April 2nd, they will have it all figured out. But I am very excited for this. I think that it's going to be awesome. And keep in mind, one of the other things that wasn't mentioned here, but has been mentioned previously, is the fact that SPS is no longer going to be in chess, which means starting April 2nd, the SPS payouts per win, per battle, right, is going to be significantly higher, probably even double what it is right now, which is pretty cool. So that is the first item. Lots of updates, both past, present, and future. Hopefully we'll get more information as we go forward on this stuff and nothing gets delayed, but that gives us something very exciting to look for as we round the corner into Q2. So let's go ahead into the next one. This is the next kind of focuses for the team, the next areas in which they plan to work. So once the reward update is out, they are planning to focus on getting one-click set rentals and then finalizing the onboarding experience. We've seen a lot of different kind of eye candy. Again, I haven't shared it here, but if you want to go into the Town Hall Discord server, Nate is always posting some really cool eye candy about what they're planning to do. They have like a whole thing where you can walk through it and just create a solid experience for newer players coming into the game. Again, it's the onboarding experience. So one-click set rentals, onboarding experience, I don't know how long that's going to take, but the exciting thing that they talked about is after that, they want to go heavy into marketing and they want to expand the team. This is something that Matt is very much looking to do. And he's talking about specifically marketing in that way. He wants to bring in somebody who can get the game in front of millions of people and, has the connections, has the know-how, can navigate through crypto, blockchain, Web3 gaming, and can bring, eyeballs into the space. And that is awesome to me. Now, I don't want to comment on the previous, on the previous marketing team. Obviously, that was during a bear market as well. So it wasn't quite fair, to look at that. You can say what you want. I'm not going to. All I'm going to say is that I'm very excited about the fact that Matt wants to go out and spend top dollar getting somebody who knows their stuff. Because from a lot of what I've heard, right, it really just comes down to how good can your marketing team be. That's what crypto is, right? How good is your marketing team getting the inside track to all the different, publications, all the different outlets, all the different influencers, all the different, maybe even exchanges, right? Things like that. That's what we really need. And if Matt has the ability to go out and find someone who wants to come into the space and really put this game on the map, that actually has me quite excited, because if that's where they're going to expand the team, I actually think that might be the best money spent on, in terms of like them onboarding new team members. So that's where this is at. Obviously, we don't know what the time frame for all this stuff is. Although I will say, the team, assuming they get the April 2nd update out, they knocked out the new player stuff, right? The ranked overhaul in a quarter, right? I mean, they talked about this stuff at the beginning of the year. We didn't even realize that it was happening until January, and they got it all done within a couple of months. So again, my hope, and I think Matt has actually said this in interviews, maybe not on the town hall itself, but I've heard him say it in other interviews. They're trying to get all this stuff done by the midway point of the year, right? So we'll just say like June. That way, in the second half of the year, starting July, they can really go hard into the marketing side. But my hope is that, I don't know how difficult one-click sent rentals and the rest of the onboarding experience are. My hope is we can see that stuff maybe by May, which would give them time to, bring on a team member, and we can actually hit the ground running when June is over, when July starts. And hopefully that'll be in the middle of a very fun summer and alt season, considering just how much Bitcoin has pumped over the past couple of weeks and months. But very exciting stuff nonetheless for the future of Splinterlands in 2024. Okay, number 3, we have the promo card, or promo cards, I should say, for the upcoming Bitcoin halving. They did the same thing 4 years ago. That's how we got the Halfling Alchemist. They want to do the same thing now, and Matt actually is planning to put a DAO proposal in the mix to have the DAO fund this for the team, and then have everything essentially get burned for the ecosystem. Then before people get all up in arms about this, I believe Matt when he says if they sold the card directly, then they would be able to, then they would essentially be able to raise more money. And so by doing this, they get a lot more of that money up front, as well as benefiting the ecosystem because they're able to burn all of the tokens. So you have to look at this from the standpoint of how much can we benefit the SPS token, of which the DAO holds a lot, right? And I've made videos on this in the past. I might make one again in the future if, depending on how if people want to hear about that, especially once we get the proposal in the mix. But it's just like, if we can burn a ton of DEC, right? Meaning that the team doesn't need to make DEC. When we, if the team were to sell the cards, we would be paying them DEC or credits, at which point they would need to do something with that DEC, right? And they could either sell it on the marketplace or use it back in transactions. Whereas if we just pay them, right, based on what the DAO has right now, let's say we pay them, again, I'm just using rough numbers here, 100,000, 200,000, whatever it ends up being for the promo cards. But we can raise the price of SPS because people are going to burn all of that DEC, all of the vouchers, right? Create scarcity, create more value and utility indirectly for SPS. That SPS actually rises in terms of its market cap, in terms of its value, and that, DAO's sitting on 400 million plus SPS, at least over the course of its distribution. If we can raise it in terms of its value by 100, 200,000, probably even more, that'll be way more beneficial, right? That is the goal long term for how Matt is planning to work this, right? He wants to be able to burn all the DEC in the DAO because the DAO should never be using that or recirculating that. All of that DEC that gets sent to the DAO or that gets burned should be going back into SPS because SPS is becoming more scarce, and that indirect utility and demand for DEC ends up burning more SPS through that demand. So again, that's just a little bit of an aside. Now, when it comes to the promo cards, he wants to do 2 promo cards, and it sounds like they want to do 5 promo card sales or events throughout the year, the first of which is going to be this Bitcoin halving one, and they want to do 2 cards at each of these events, right? And they're all going to be dual elements. So think, what's that, Zerial. So with 2 cards, 10 cards total, 5 elements, 2 cards per thing actually makes sense. So we'll see how that ends up playing out, but I'm very excited to see what it is and how the proposal comes through. But I do believe that it can actually provide a lot of value overall for the ecosystem, and I'm glad that Matt is approaching it in that way, and I hope people can understand. Number 4, SPS validators. We have not talked about validators in a long time. Neither has the team because it doesn't sound like anybody's been working on it. And, Matt was actually quite honest with this, and I appreciate that, even though we could probably tell on our own, in the sense that, validators don't provide any value in terms of revenue for the team, right? It's something that's important, but the team was very much focused on generating revenue for, the last, we'll just call it the last year, right? So Matt actually wants to put a team on it to get it done by the end of the year. And that actually gives me a lot of confidence because I think people still are worried about runway and how's the team doing. But I think with crypto, Bitcoin specifically going up, the team holdings are doing well. and they're feeling a little bit more bullish about growing the team, as I said earlier, with the marketing and team expansion. So being able to put people on this that they didn't have the capacity for previously, I think is going to be really important. Matt also touched upon the fact that he doesn't, despite all the talk about major, tier one listings, we'll call them, right? Coinbase, Binance. He doesn't believe that we're going to get any traction with that unless and until we have the validator network live, right? Until we're on the SPS chain, they're gonna look at where we're at, and it's really messy because you have SPS as a BNB native token. Yes, it's bridged to Ethereum, but then you have a lot of it sitting in game on a second layer of Hive, which is a chain that nobody really knows. So if they can create their own validator chain, right, the SPS chain on there, again, I think that gives some validity to it, pun intended, and will help with kind of convincing or having that for Splinterlands. Now, somebody had asked, like, if that's the case, how do all these other games, right? I talk about Prime all the time, Illuvium, like all these other games. Why are they listed even if they're not like on their own chains? They haven't created their own chains. And Matt said they have money, right? So ultimately, at the end of the day, they have money. So, I appreciated that kind of like candor from him, and we'll have to wait and see how this goes. But I'm hopeful and excited to see the fact that the team is just trying to grab this by the horns and get it done by the end of the year, hopefully even sooner than that, especially considering we're trying to get on a major exchange, especially, with all the DAO voting. Again, that's not going to happen overnight, but if the team can get working on this and have it done by the end of the year, this is not financial advice, but I fully believe that this bull run is going to extend into 2025 the same way that, the 2021 happened and 2017 happened. So if we can get it done by the end of the year, imagine having an exchange listing on one of the major exchanges, late 2024, early 2025, when things are actually raging. That might be the best time. So serendipitously, it might work out very well for us, but obviously there's a lot of work to be done before then. Okay, number 5. So Matt actually spent a lot of time talking about this. He saved it for last before going into the Q&A, but it's the bots and battle helpers. And he was talking about, obviously this is a major issue and source of attention for the community right now. And there were a couple of things that he talked about. First, he said that, and I'm going to skip to the second thing here. He said that, they were talking with a lot of people around the community, namely the top development companies, right? So Xbot, Archmage, maybe even Splintermate. I'm not sure. He didn't name drop anybody, but those are the 3 that come to mind immediately. And saying that they're working to find a solution because putting it in the terms of service, if they're not going to enforce it or if they don't have the ability to enforce it, is kind of pointless. And this is why he was always against it from the beginning. But, the community feels very differently about Matt on this. And again, Matt hasn't stonewalled anything, and I appreciate that. In fact, he was very kind of cooperative a year ago when we were having the conversations about doing a bot ban in Modern. And he provided a solution saying, let's try it out. They just want to do a bot ban, right? And create like 2 brand new formats. And he was saying, let's just do it in Modern to test it out. Now, I would say that it has been quite successful in Modern. I think if anybody looks at what's been going on, most people enjoy the experience of playing in Modern, playing as people that they know, the earnings are better. And, 90% of the people are following the rules and not, following the terms of service. Now, obviously that remaining 10% or whatever percentage you want to apply to it is kind of ruining it for the rest of us. And we'll need to find a way to make it, to improve upon that. But I still prefer Modern now than I did back then, right? It's just a better experience overall. Yes, I know match liquidity issues can be a thing, but hopefully that's going to get solved not by removing, bots and battle helpers, but by bringing in new players, which is very much the goal of the team for this year. The other thing he mentioned was getting some DAO support. And I'm not sure exactly what he meant by that. I'll probably have to go back and listen to it again. But, part of it, I believe, is maybe getting financial support to have somebody on the team or elements within the team be able to manage this appropriately. Again, they never, when I say they, him and Aggie, right? So just leadership for this project from the beginning, they always wanted to have more of a decentralized approach, and rather than have any kind of like witch hunt, which I think he even said on the town hall, right? They don't want to be going and trying to find people and hunt them down and all that. They wanted to create the right incentives from the top down. The thing is, even if you do your best, there's always going to be people who want an edge when there's money involved. When there's rewards and financial or monetary rewards, it's going to come down to that. And so hopefully the DAO, the community, can come together with the team and find a good solution. It didn't sound like there is one outside of the fact that he's having conversations, but that's just where things are at right now. It's a little frustrating. I get it. It wasn't the best answer in my opinion, but I'm glad that he addressed it. Not that he needed an answer. I'm just saying that I'm glad that he addressed it, right? There wasn't really an answer of like what's going to be done, but it is top of mind. And obviously it's not just the team focused on it, but there's a lot of folks within the community that are pushing for this too. And so the fact that the team is aware of it will hopefully make it easier to collaborate with them on finding potential solutions. Okay, I actually have a bonus one for you here. There were 6, and then I actually have additional bonus items. But the match liquidity issues, this is something just quickly to mention, because Matt was giving some ideas on how we could improve match liquidity in Modern. Now, again, in the long run, hopefully this won't be an issue, but since people are complaining about it now, one thing that we could do, or 2 things that we could do, first of which he said is that the DAO could actually vote to increase the rewards in Modern. Now, we'd have to approve of where those extra SPS were coming from. Would they be coming from Wild? Would they be coming from another pool? Like, how would it work? I don't know, but that's a conversation we could definitely have. And, again, is that going to fix the match liquidity issues? I don't know. I think most people are going to play no matter what the rewards are. But again, he's just throwing that out there as an idea. And then he also mentioned that the team could run bots using real cards, but not earning any value from it, right? So not earning any rewards through it. Now, the one big thing with that that I would worry about, especially now, is ratings inflation, right? And how is that going to work overall? I don't mind the idea of like the team running some bots. They're currently doing that in Novice, but at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff feels like a short-term solution. And if we could be a little bit more low time preference and say, I don't know, just let things roll for the next 4 or 5 months to get into the middle of summer, hopefully with all the cool things happening, hopefully with the team, onboarding a marketing expert to bring more eyeballs into the space. Obviously, things just went live with the killer whale stuff. So we'll have to, and of course, if Bitcoin continues its run upwards post halving, again, there's a lot of things that could happen over the next couple of months where I feel like if we force the team to focus on, team or DAO, right, to focus on like changing one of these things around, it's like a small term or like a short-term solution for, yes, it's a major problem, but a short-term solution that could be solved by just bringing more people in the long run. But just wanted to share those with you. The bonus items are the DEC Grain LP. Man, so yeah, land. Anybody remember what land is and what's going on with land? But the DEC Grain LP is actually in final testing, and it could also potentially be released on 4.2, although I think that's going to make Investigator sweat bullets because it sounds like there's a lot going out that day, including the rewards and including the next thing here, more pages being added to tech modernization. Now, I don't think that they've gotten battles to the next step, but they're going to have like battle history and like even the team select page or stuff like that. Again, I have to go back and listen to it. The main reason that I wanted to include it here in the bonus items is just to let people know as a reminder that tech modernization is still happening. And once it is complete, and it sounds like we're almost there, and I would implore you to go check different pages of the website, right? Namely like the battle page, or the battle history page versus like the market versus the shop page versus I don't know, so, the not team selection, but like your collection page. All that stuff looks really good, and it looks really good in mobile right now. So the moment they can finish tech modernization, I do believe the mobile experience is going to improve dramatically. Not the mobile app experience, but you can just go on your mobile phone and pick a team, play a team, and if it's mobile optimized. Again, is it perfect? No, but we don't live in a perfect world where Apple wants to take 30% cut of anything that's has any kind of money involved. No, sorry, not just Apple, but Apple and Google. So hopefully that'll be done sooner rather than later. And then finally, it was revealed that Hardpoint is no longer with the team. So I wasn't even aware of that myself. And I just wish him well. I don't know if he's still in the space and still following what's going on with Splinterlands, but it looks as though he left around the time that they went through a lot of the restructuring last year in September. So it's been a minute. And again, wish him well. I don't know if he's, still watches his channel or hangs out or, does Splinterland stuff, but I guess I'll shoot him a message now and hope all is well on his end. So that is all I have for you guys in this video. I have no idea how long this was, but it definitely went on probably a lot longer than I was hoping. So hopefully you enjoyed it. That's all I got for you guys in this video. I'll catch you in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.